Room podcast to talk about his amateur MMA debut taking place at Combat FC on Friday, October 21st. Less than a week away is Conor Hews. What's up, my friend? Welcome to the show, bro.
What's going on, Steve? Thank you for having me, man. Good to talk to you again. How you been?
I've been great, man. Always great to get a little word with you, man. We got a little background together with the jiu-jitsu and covering that. But man, uh, the other side of the coin here, you're fighting MMA and making your debut, bro. Let's talk about it and the excitement to get into the cage and jump over that bridge and get it done in there.
Yeah, man, it's been a long, long time coming. I feel like I started trying to fight in 2020, like when the whole pandemic thing happened, and I've gone through about 5 training camps. Trying to get fights falling out, things happening, me getting injured. But yeah, it's about a week away, like you said, and I'm confident it's gonna happen. I'm putting into the universe that's gonna happen.
Well, you spoke about, getting ready for fights and having a bunch of training camps. You actually had a kickboxing match, an amateur kickboxing match, back in April. You got to fight
Yes.
in a cage and got to fight at least in front of, an MMA crowd, man. How was that feeling to actually, get that done and, maybe, get the nerves out of fighting in front of that many people?
It was good. It was definitely kind of the experience of like an MMA fight without actually fighting MMA. I remember it was about 10 days before the fight. I learned my opponent had hurt his knee, and so I got this kickboxing fight offered to me, and it was better to take something rather than nothing. So I got in there. Everything I'd been training for MMA, but I train at Hard Knocks kickboxing all the time, and those guys are so high level that I felt like regardless whoever I went in there with, I'd do well. And I got in there, and God willing, I got a second round TKO, and it definitely was the perfect experience I think I needed before going into an MMA fight, where now I can express myself fully and have that full range of skills, and already have that crowd experience.
Well, man, now we're getting into the MMA world here, bro. Fighting on a huge card, bro. Combat FC is kind of new in the game, but there's a lot of roots with their owners and, people behind the scenes with Joe Cav. How excited are you to, get, have your amateur debut and be able to have it for, kind of a new promotion that's taken off?
Yeah, I mean, I've loved my experience with Combat FC so far. They got me a fight booked. I think it was 8 or 9 weeks out. They had me a full training camp, and my original opponent actually ended up getting injured. So they ended up getting me a replacement fight within a week. I got a text. They told me that the guy had pulled out. Obviously, I was disappointed, and my experience prior, I thought it would be a while before I get another fight. 2 3 days later, boom, I'm booked up again, and I can start getting ready. So they were great. It was really cool working with them. Joe's great. Rick is also really cool. They've been very professional the entire time that I've been there, and I'm very excited, man. The card, like you said, is stacked. It's a big stage in front of a good amount of people on UFC Fight Pass. So I thought if there's any way to do it, may as well do it on the biggest stage possible. You know what I mean? I know I have expectations behind me, but it's worth it to do it on the big stage.
Well, my man, before we get to that opponent and the matchup, let's talk a little bit about the training camp. Who's been getting you ready? You got some big names and a big camp that you're associated with. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I've been working this camp, and I mean my entire career, I guess you could say, with the NE Cartel guys. Nick Fiore is my head coach. He's the one who has brought me from essentially nothing to what I am now. I work with Tom Pags. He's also my coach for this camp. They're both going to be in my corners. They're just two of the highest level prospects in New England. I think everybody knows that at this point. And the knowledge they have is just tremendous. Also, all the guys from the cartel gym, Rob, Calvin, my teammate Fred, who just got a win a couple months ago, my main training partner, he's an absolute savage. Tyler, Brian, I could go on all day
Yeah.
talking about people from that gym, but just all the cartel guys, man, they've been amazing. I do my Muay Thai up at Hard Knocks. Jake Manini, all
Yep.
those guys over there, absolute savages. That's probably one of the scariest training rooms to walk into, but man, do I feel like I develop quite a bit when I go in there. And and then Sean Farley, my boxing coach, he's one of the best mental coaches as well. And yeah, those are the guys I've been working with as far as mixed martial arts go. I have a strength and conditioning coach, a dietitian. Like I'm doing things the professional way. You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to take this as serious as possible, and my goal is to represent the cartel as well as I can.
Well, my man, I don't know how many flyweights they have as far as in the cartel. I mean, they're covering every weight class, man. But you're a great
I got one.
prospect. You're a great
Yeah,
prospect. Is that it? Are you the flyweight?
yeah, yeah. I'm the flyweight. I'm that 125 man.
Good for you, my man. Good
Thank you,
for
man.
you. So you're going to be representing this Friday night, bro. Is there any nerves as far as I don't know if this is closer to home as far as the last fight, but is there any nerves building up for this?
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like any fighter that says that they're not nervous is just lying. It's part of the game, and I think about like the highest level guys I've talked to, and like whatever, like John Jones gets nervous, GSP gets nervous, like all these guys get nervous. It's part of the game, but uh, I was talking to Fred about it. There's definitely a little added element of pressure, like when you represent the cartel and those guys, but at the same time, like I know what I'm going to be able to do, and I just need to express myself. And pressure is good. Pressure leads to big things. It means that you have expectations. You know what I mean? And I feel that with the work that I put in the past, I can live up to those expectations.
Excellent. Well, let's get to your opponent, man. You got a game one here, a 1-0. He's got a finish in his first amateur fight, which was last year, November, I do believe. Came away with the
Yes.
first round finish. Julian Menjivar comes out of where's he come out of? I'm sorry. He comes out of the
KTA.
KTA, Walter
Yeah.
Catito, and Joey Gomez, man. Some other huge names in New England, man. So
Yes.
this kid's a competitor, man. I've seen his amateur debut. He looked great in there. How do you feel about this matchup?
I like it. I like it. I think it's a really good fight. He's like you said, he's really game. He's really scrappy. He comes to fight. I mean, we've seen tape on him. He's 1-0. I think that it's a great first fight for me. It's a good test. You know what I mean? I'm not going in there with somebody who's just there to show up. Like I'm going in there with somebody who's trying to win. And I think that as a competitor, that's what you're looking for. You know what I mean? Is to try to have that battle of wills of two people that genuinely want to try to get the win. At the end of the day, I think my skill set is better than his, and that's why I fight because I think I'm one of the best. But like you said, I respect him a lot. His camp is phenomenal. Walter and Joey are great guys. I fought Tristan as well, so I've had experience, with them and all that. And like I said, they're a great camp over there. I got a lot of respect for everybody, and I'm very excited to test myself against him. But I think it's a good matchup for me.
Excellent, my man. Well, a couple of more questions before I let you get going. It's God, it's crunch time now, man. As far as the 125, I know you did have that kickboxing match, and I mean, you're not cutting as much weight, I do believe, as far as the kickboxing, but that was at 130. Now you're at 125. How do you feel about that weight? Is it a hard cut? Like, how do you feel about it?
So I wouldn't say I'm like a small 25er. So all the guys at Hard Knocks, all the MMA guys that I spar with over there, like they always say that I'm a good size 25er. I was nervous leading up to this because I didn't know how I was gonna get down. I didn't know how much I was gonna have to cut. But like I said, I have somebody who does my nutrition. I have Tom and Rob and Calvin and all those guys who have so much knowledge and prior, cuts and stuff like that. I'm so on point right now. Like everything about it, I'm probably not even gonna have to cut that much water. And I'm just doing everything the right way. You know what I mean? I don't want to. I see these nightmare stories of Habib and like all these people online like cutting 12 pounds of water and dying. Like no, there's no way
Yeah.
I want to end up doing that. So I feel like it's going to be an easy cut. I'm gonna get myself down there and I'm gonna be pretty damn big on fight night.
Excellent. Well, last question before I let you give your shout outs, any sponsors, social media, all that good stuff, man. Um, you know, I don't want to get ahead of the game, but bro, it's going to be your first amateur fight. If you come out of here, with a win, you know, fairly healthy, are you looking to stay busy? Since you've been in training camp forever, like what's your goal here as far as the end of the year or early 2023 as far as staying busy?
Well, my number one goal, first and foremost, without any shadow of a doubt, is Julian. I'm taking him completely seriously, and I am not overlooking him whatsoever. I'm 100% focused on him. But of course, if everything goes well, God willing, I want to compete again this year. I would love to compete once, maybe even twice again this year. Um, maybe 130 or 135 because I'd like to eat a little bit more. But it'd be nice to get in there one more time at least, even if it's just for like an amateur boxing match or something, just something to get competitive in. I think it'd be good to get in there one more time. But yeah, it's been a long year, man. There's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of disappointments, and I think that being able to get a couple of fights in this year would put a cherry on top of everything, regardless of the whole rest of the outcomes. You know what I mean?
Excellent, my man. Well, let's get that other fight over with, let you enjoy the holidays, and then come back strong in 2023. So, with that said, my man,
Yes.
shout outs, sponsors, social media, thank yous, and I'll let you, get on with your day here.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you again for having me. But I definitely am going to follow me on social media, Conor.Hews on Instagram. And shout out to all my sponsors, Sal Balia at Bell and Williams, Jared Wolf at Wolfpack K9, Rye Guy Sports Cards, Ivan and Sam Chimney guys. Like it's been amazing. My first amateur fight, I've been able to make a good amount of money to be able to support myself, and in no short compared to those guys. They've been just so helpful in making my dream a reality and being able to let me focus on just fighting. It's a full-time job for me, and just shout out to everybody that I train with, man. Nick, Tom, Rob, Calvin, Tyler, my buddy Christos, Fred, like everybody there. And again, to my strength and conditioning coach, Tom Levine, over at Affirmation Health and Fitness. I've been working with him for about a year, man. He's changed my life. I feel like a totally different fighter. So yeah, man, just shout out to all my training partners, man. That's like my family. I love you guys.
Excellent, my man. Well, this is a great matchup, bro. Two young amateurs going at it, two game, scrappy guys. Man, I've seen you on both sides, man. I've seen you compete in jiu-jitsu. I've seen you at kickboxing smokers. Now I'm going to see it all together in an MMA cage, bro. So congratulations on taking that step and,
Thank you, man.
working with the cartel and them taking you along, man, as their flyweight prospect in the future, bro. So congratulations, man.
Thank you so much, Steve. I really appreciate it, man. It means a lot.